Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Father's Day to all of the gentlemen, all of the men. Happy Men's Day. If you are already on, thank you, but go ahead and share this, please. And this is a great way to invite your father, your uncle, your brother, all the men in your life to today's celebration, to today's service, to today's talk. You can just type their names in the feed if they're on social media, or call them and say, hey, jump on YouTube or jump on one of these platforms and kind of hang out with us today for an hour. It is a great day. We're sitting here in the backyard, and the birds just finished their morning song, and we just saw our intro um, video with all of our slides of our fathers and their sons and uncles and father figures and mentors, and it is absolutely wonderful. I put something on Facebook earlier this week about this elaborate burger with crab meat on it and all of that for Mother's Day, and then they showed this smashed burger for Father's Day, and we got a chuckle out of that. But let's not let that be the case this year. Today is a day of honor. It's a day of celebration. It's a day to speak well of those who have served us in the area of fathers, father figures. And here's the thing I always say: um, the goal is not perfection. The goal is love. And I believe that we all can find a place where we've been loved as relates to father, again, a father figure, mentor, uncle, whoever's in your life to that degree. So welcome again today to Father's Day. I got my father sitting with me. I thought it would be fitting today to do something real special. And y'all know my dad don't talk a lot. So I thought it was great that he come and talk with us today. But go ahead and share it. I want you to share it for many reasons because we got some special things we're going to do, and I don't want people to miss it. Yes, congratulations again to all of the fathers. I'm looking at you guys coming on here. Misha, Patricia, Mama Pat is on. Kiva, Brother Sam Wright is on here. That's right, Serena. She tagged her father, Gary Mitchell, Lucretia Criddle. Listen, I'm already overwhelmed. I woke up this morning to tons of emails and texts and Facebook posts just showing love, and I think it's going to just be an overwhelming day. Elder Sylvia's on, Jeanette Weathersby. Yeah, come on here and don't just come today by yourself. Share it with somebody. Inyana Shaw, Pastor Keisha Sanders is on. G. Clef Cannon, she tagging people. Corey Raymond, Aaron Wilson. That's what you do. Yeah. Sister Karen Fletcher, thank you. Marvin J. Malone, all these good shout outs. I hope you're smiling because I'm shouting you out. Brina Floyd, listen, share it. Tag somebody, tag your dad, tag your uncle, tag a coworker, tag a friend, tag a brother. Um, we're going to have a good time today, and we won't hold you long. I promise. You still have time to grill and eat and do your brunches and all that you have planned, because I'm sure you have a lot of stuff planned for the fathers and stuff in your life today. Yeah, Juan Carlos, thank you for being on all the way from Monterrey. I don't think I say it like quite like London, but let's jump right in today. We have something very special we want to do. Mother's Day, we did this, Dad, we did this Mothers of the Year, and we presented one of the precious ladies with flowers and gifts and all that good stuff. Well, we're not going to do anything different today. We're going to do even better today, actually. So, right now, we have a team of great people in front of one of our brothers' home. Yeah, and you should see them. Yep, there he is, Pastor Twan and PC. Pastor Twan has his boys with him, and they're right in front of this gentleman's house, and they're going to be ringing the bell real shortly and surprising him with this. Can we get a shot of the grill? There's a grill with a big old bow. I see the bow. There it is. They're going to surprise him because every brother likes the grill. And I asked him, I said, so what if he already has a grill? It was like, well, men like grills. They'll take another one because if you can see my yard, I got two of them sitting out here. But Pastor Twan, can you hear me? Pastor Twan,
Yes, sir, I can.
you can hear. Are you
Yeah,
guys
I can hear
ready?
you.
Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
What's up?
Yes,
You
sir.
got your boys with you there. Yeah. What's up, Pastor Twan and the Twanites? What's happening? Okay, so you guys can go ahead and set up to ring the bell and all of that, and then I'll follow
Yeah,
your lead from here.
I got TJ with me.
Okay, what's
Happy
happening, man? I'm coming for my stuff. I like that shirt. That's a good shirt. Okay, go ahead. I think there's a delay here, but we're gonna work with it. Go ahead and position yourselves on the porch to ring the bell and all that. Let's start this surprise real quick here. I think he's a little frozen here.
to get itself.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. They're moving now. There's a delay, but we're gonna make it happen. They're on the porch. It's nothing like strangers ringing your bell at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday with gifts. Yeah. He knocking hard too. He looking all around the house. Okay. I hope he's at home.
He's home.
He is home. She said that y'all called first. Yeah. So while we're waiting for him to come to the door,
Door is opening.
the door is opening.
Hey, my
You see
man.
him?
Oh, my. Hey,
Come on here.
come on down, man.
Come on out. Come on out, that we can see you. It's he. Come on.
Oh my. So listen, man, we wanted to honor you on Father's Day on behalf of Pastor Reggie, Pastor London, the whole Lifeline Church. We wanted to just give you a Father's Day gift to say that we love you and we appreciate you. Man.
Wow. I love you all too.
Hey,
I ain't at a loss for words.
So come on around here. Let's see.
Oh my.
Let's see. Pastor Reggie is live.
Hey, Pastor.
can he hear me?
Wow. Oh my.
You know how to
They can hear you.
Yes.
They can hear and see me. Brother Lavelle.
We can. Yes.
Brother
Yes.
Lavelle. Man, listen. You are
Yes.
well deserving of this grill and more. And so there are so many great men in our church, and it was a hard time selecting one, but you made it, Jack. You are the guy. You are the father of the year, Lifeline System of Churches. We honor you. Thank you for your serving, for your consistency, for your faithfulness, for just being who you are. You that dude. So happy Father's Day to you. Enjoy your grill. There should be some other stuff there, apron and that kind of deal. Love you, man. Let me know when you're gonna fire it up. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, what you say when I'm fired up?
It's Father's Day. Let's do it. You gonna fire it up?
I don't know. They're gonna be taking some. We're gonna do something today. Something going on that grill today.
I know that's
So
right.
y'all more than welcome. Come on back to
Yes, sir. So look, man, we just wanted to celebrate you on this day, man. We love you so much. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you all.
Out of so many people, man, we just selected you to be the
Oh,
Father's
wow.
Day recipient. of
I
our
am
grill.
sweating.
Hey,
You
hey.
What is y'all sweating?
thank you, wife, for helping us out, helping us make this happen.
I figured you was.
You said thank you, Sheree, for helping us.
Hey, did he hear me? Did he hear my speech?
Oh, wow.
Speak up.
I said, did he
Come a
hear
little
my?
closer. Say it again, Pastor.
I said,
Yes,
did he hear my speech? Okay, good. Because that speech came from my heart.
Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Let me know when you're gonna fire it up. Sharice, she's camera ready. Look at her, she ready. Okay, love you guys. We're gonna sign off for now. Y'all can stay there and hang out with him and put some on the grill. I'll call you later, Lavelle. How about that? Well, listen, great people. That was wonderful. Again, as you know, if you're familiar with Lifeline Church, that's what we do. We love to love on people. We love to give. We are a giving community. And it's very sometimes difficult to select people because we have so many great people But go ahead, and he's not on social media, but I'll make sure he sees it. Make sure you send him love and greetings and happy Father's Days and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you all again. Go. You still have time to share if you're watching um, via YouTube or whatever. Thank you for being with us this morning for our special Father's Day presentation. Kamika is crying. Kamika is always crying. I love it. Thank you. Pastor Kelly's on. I'm just trying to get more people in here real quick. Yeah, that's good. Precious, good stuff. Okay, so we want to have some talk today, and it's me talking to my dad and him talking to me. It's not an interview. We want to have some conversation this morning, and I don't think it's limited to us. I think it'll help men, it'll help women, it'll help families, because we all have memories growing up. We have good and bad memories and things like that. I imagine everybody does. But I know I wouldn't trade anything for my upbringing. I wouldn't trade anything for what I've learned, what I've gathered, because it all kind of fashioned who I've become. Um, and just the life lessons, the joys, the pains, the celebrations, the dysfunction. I believe that all things work together for our good. So regardless of what we faced, I've always had the love and support of my family and my dad. So we want to just talk a few minutes, and I want him to first talk about himself and kind of introduce himself. Most of you know him as just Elder Billy, and that's Pastor's father. And he don't talk a lot, but I want you to find out who Billy Royal is, his growing up, his family, his environment, his work, his education, all that good stuff. So sometimes we are in community with people and really don't know who they are. And so I don't want him to be looked at through my lens. I want you to know who he is. And some of you say, well, he's a great guy, that's Elder Billy, and he is. But I want you to hear some things from him. Dad, tell him a little bit about who you are. And I told y'all we have our tissue here because he's already crying. So work with us today. Before it's over, we'll all be crying. I promise you that. But take your time and just tell him a little bit about yourself. I'll help you along with it. And then we can move on from there. Go ahead. So tell us about you growing up, your family, just a little bit, whatever you want to share, so they can know a little bit more about you outside of that's just Elder Billy.
Well, I grew up in Cabrini.
Cabrini Green. Mm-hmm.
Had 13 siblings.
13.
But it was always a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Waller High School in Cooley High.
Now, Waller High School is now called Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Yeah. And Cooley High School is no longer there.
Okay.
Cooley is called Lincoln Park near North.
And see, I always thought that was just a movie. That was a real high school.
That was a real high school.
Okay.
Cooley Upper Grade Center.
Gotcha.
You call it. And like I said, I had 13 siblings, but we had a lot of love. We didn't have a lot, but what we had, but the thing that we had, we all shared it because it was love. And her mom didn't have nothing, but she did what she could.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't complain about nothing because it was just love there.
Mm-hmm.
And we never once said that we didn't have nothing. We never once said that we wasn't hungry. We never once said that it was too many in the bedroom or nothing like that.
How many was in your bedroom?
3.
3 in bedroom. Okay.
There was 3 boys in the bedroom together and 4 girls in the bedroom together.
Okay.
But we never once said that it was too crowded, you know. But Mom did what she could, and I just try to take heed to what she did because I wanted my kids to have more than what I had. You know, I didn't have a lot, but so that's what it was. And like when I was coming up, I was taught to work. So I started working about 9 years old.
9
And
years old.
I've been working since I was 9. And I
So
had
how old are you now, Dad?
66.
66. Okay.
And I'm still working.
Still working.
Still working, but it doesn't phase me, because the things that I didn't have, and like I said, I worked in 3 jobs for my kids to provide because I was the man of the house. We was taught when you're the man of the house, we didn't share no bills. You took on the responsibility of the house because you was the man of the house.
Right.
So and then what I did, uh, I, uh, I got up 1 o'clock in the morning, I threw papers. I threw papers. I went to United. And after I left United, I went to the pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
But I always working to provide a better environment for my kids, and
Right.
that's what I did. And I always told my kids, whatever they do, I'm behind them 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm behind them right today. Whatever you do and Jason do, I'm behind you guys because I'm your father, and I'm gonna back you whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because family, that's all we got.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. You said that you never complain because this generation is a little bit different. And with everything you didn't have and all the obstacles that you guys dealt with, you said you never complained, and your mom did the best she could, and she provided for you all. And even in that, you learned things that you carried on through your life that you pushed on to us. I can attest to what he's saying, of course. All I've known him to do is work. um, and we think people work for the sake of working. That's what he learned. That's what he knew. He knew he had to take care of his family. And so he did that. So what he said was, I saw him get up and go to deliver newspapers in the morning, and then go from there to United Airlines job, and then go from there to deliver pizza, at night, because he wanted to make sure that the things he did not have, that he did not even complain about, that we did. And so this is why I wanted to sit with him, because I think sometimes we discount people, especially in this day and age. We feel like, we're better than people, or people are not as educated as us, and all these kinds of things. And that's just not what we should be doing. And so, and then even having me at an early age, how old were you when I came along?
I think 18,
18, right out of high school, right?
Right out of high school.
And how was that adjustment?
Doing so we had a business doing.
I know how I got here. I'm saying, how did you deal with having a kid now at 18? And I'm thinking my mom was probably like 17.
Yeah.
How did you guys adjust to that right out of high school?
I had to work.
You had to work.
I had responsibility, so I had to work. There wasn't no college there, so I had to get out and work. I had responsibility. I had mouth to feed, so I had to find a job and work.
And so right from high school, you skipped college and went right to workforce because of your responsibilities.
Responsibility.
Okay. I think that sometimes we hear that and it kind of goes over our head real quick, but that is very, 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 very weighty. That he understood even at 18, I have responsibilities and this is what I'm going to do. And he's been doing that now consistently. He doesn't take care of us anymore financially, but he is there. And you better believe if I needed something, I can go to my dad. But I have enough right now where I understand it is my responsibility now to help him, to not be a burden to him, because he's done what he was supposed to do in raising me and putting in instilling in me certain, what do you call it? Certain principles that we live by. Now, the only thing you got to understand, when we talk like this and you're emotional and we're talking about great times, I think people sometimes can't do this, and they can't sit and they can't embrace and they can't talk because they're looking for perfection. There is no perfection. It's the goal, but you probably never get there. You're always reaching to be better. You're always reaching to bring your life in harmony with the principles that you know to be true. If you're Christian, the word of God that you know. And I think that's what he's already always shown us. Even as a kid, I remember mostly church. Because once you got out of high school and you had me, you then got right into church.
Yeah.
Okay. And you moved to the west side, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all I remember. Tell me, I remember church. I remember going to church. I remember white suits. I remember tailor-made suits. You see some of the pictures that we have on there, even on Facebook. That's me and my dad, and we have on tailor-made clothes. He was clean, Jack. I can tell you that. You couldn't tell us nothing. But and he had an afro shaped and that kind of deal. But that's what I remember. Talk about moving to the west side, becoming a Christian, knowing God, and all that stuff.
Well, we moved to the west side from Cabrini, and we moved to the west side, but and we got a better understanding of church because we joined a prayer band,
Mm-hmm.
and all we did was church, 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 church,
Mm-hmm.
church on Mondays. We come back on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
All we did was church,
Mm-hmm.
and I know now that a lot of stuff that we did it was unnecessary because back then it was completely different. Your upgrade was completely different than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more you're more relaxed and everything now is wide open. But back then there was preaching like a fighting brimstone,
Right.
and we didn't know no better.
Right.
So we taught that to our kids, and a whole lot of it shouldn't have been, but we
Right.
didn't know.
Now, when you say it was unnecessary, meaning a lot of the practices were
Yes,
unnecessary.
it was biblical and it was too churchy,
Hmm.
because a whole lot of it, it just wasn't necessary.
Because I want to help with this because I think, yeah, biblical things are always in order, but I think when they're not balanced, and it takes you away from family, and like a lot of the family time we have now, we didn't have a
We
lot
didn't
of
have
that
it
back
then.
then
No,
because we were always in church. Yeah, we did vacations. We go on vacation once a year. My dad made sure every year we would go on vacation. And it wasn't like we go now. We would go to Florida even, but we would stay in like motels. We'd be in
wasn't room.
one room, with chula beds, but we'd all be in there, and you open the door and the highway was right there, whatever. But we were on vacation, and he felt like that's something he didn't have coming up. He wanted to make sure we had it, and then you graduate through the years and get better hotels and things like that. But we didn't have a lot of family time back then because we were always in church.
I was in church.
We was in church or in prayer or in Bible study or at somebody's house praying, or we were doing something in church.
Some.
And I think it was not balanced. So I want to make sure you're clear on what he's saying. He's not saying that it's unnecessary in terms of loving God and doing the things of
No.
God, but it must be balanced. And that's why even now with our church, we try to have one service, Wednesday, one on Sunday, not a lot of stuff going on because it takes you away from having a balanced life with your family. And so, but here's the thing, although we know better now, I don't think I would change anything from back then because it made us still who we are.
Yeah, it did.
It did. We know better now. And I think that's life. As you grow older and wiser, you do things better, you do things different. But the things you put in us back then was to put God first. God was a priority in our life, even as children. And nowadays that's not the case with so many
It
children.
was not.
God was a priority. I remember on Saturdays I used to love to watch wrestling. And Saturday was the day people went outside to play and all that kind of stuff. And I remember we had to fast, pray, and go to prayer meeting on Saturday. And at 5 o'clock, wrestling would come on, the Von Erichs on Channel 50. And I wanted to see that, but prayer started at 5 p.m. And these are the things that they always um, instilled in us. And I didn't like it back then. I was a kid. I wanted to be a kid, do kid stuff. But at the same time, now looking back, I don't think that the bulk of that I would change because it's made me,
You.
it's made Jason, it's made us who we are. It's given us things to push down to our family, to our boys. And so for that, I am grateful. I'm grateful that although my dad was always working, I understood, let me say this, I understand now why you were working so much. I don't think I understood so much back then when I was little, but I understand now. the things that we did afford, that's why he was working. The schools that I did go to, that's why he was working. Um, the apartment we were living in, yeah, it wasn't
The
elaborate,
best.
it wasn't the best, but it's what we had, and that's while he was working. And so it drives me to this point of um, being grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my dad and all the sacrifices. I'm grateful for all he's endured throughout the years for the sake of his family. And even now, 66, he's still working. He's not at Walmart saying welcome to Walmart, no offense. He's working a full-time job at 66. And to God be the glory, he'll be retiring soon. But he's worked. He's worked. He's worked. He serves. He's a servant to the point we got to tell him to sit down. If you go to his house, we go to visit and we just want to chill and watch TV. He's moving. He's working. He's sweeping the floor that's not dirty. He's washing dishes that's already been washed. He's doing something all the time, because that's what he knows to do. He knows to serve. He knows to work. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate you putting that in me. I got a job freshman in high school,
Yeah.
and I have work ethic. I've learned that because of my dad, and I know that's kind of missing in today's society. But I have that, and I'm pushing that down to my boys. We were not entitled. I like what he said. He was in a house in Cabrini Green with several siblings, but they never complained. He shared a room with multiple people, but he never complained. And so I learned all of that from him. And so that's why I wanted to sit. I wanted you to know some things about him that you may not know. He's not just a good guy. He's a great man. He's a great father. He's a great husband. He's a great leader. He's a man of God. There are times, even here now, because he's busy and working, we don't get to talk a lot, but at the right time, your dad knows you. At the right time, he'll call and say, I'm just checking on you. Or he'll call and say, I don't want nothing, just want to say I love you. Or he'll call and say, are you getting rest? Are you taking care of yourself? And those times are weighty for me. Those are so precious for me. Um, and they mean so much because I'm 47, right, London? I'm 47. So you would think as an adult man, I don't need that. Listen, a son always needs his father, just like a son or a daughter always needs their mother. And so I'll always need him in my life, speaking into my life. And he may not, give me these big, elaborate prophetic words, but calling me to say, hey, I don't want nothing, just love you. Or are you okay? Man, that takes me through. And so I want to stop here before we go on and I'll have several stopping and honoring segments to honor my dad, because I feel like with all you've done and been through in life, sometimes you may not say it, but you can feel like you're not honored as much, that it's not appreciated, because sometimes you get so used to things and it becomes a normal, and you don't stop and say thank you. You don't stop and say I honor you. You don't stop and say you hold weight in my life. And so before there was a Bill Winston, before there was a Mike Freeman, before there was all these guys who came in my life to take me further spiritually, things like that, there's my dad. My dad is here. He was here and he's still here. And I tell you all the time, before we go out to anybody else in terms of this is my pastor, man of God, and that this is my man of God, this is my father. And when everything else is gone and everybody else is not there, he's going to be there, and he's always been. And there was a time, although you've always been there, I didn't think that he was. And this is the part that I really want to make sure we discuss today, because Jason was an athlete and he played a lot of sports and I wasn't. And so I was the preacher, Jason was the athlete. We got older, he was doing more sports. I was still going to church, in groups, things like that. And so I felt like because I wasn't an athlete, my dad gave more attention to Jason, or he didn't see me the same or love me the same. And that caused resentment. And I think it took some time to work through that, because the first part of that was we never talked about it. I never said anything, but you don't have to say anything. Your actions
Your
speak.
action.
And so for a long time, I had resentment against my dad. It was for that I felt like, you know, he favored Jason more because Jason was an athlete. He went to his games. He bought him all the different stuff, so forth and so on. And I was just a church guy. And I'm thinking, well, I'm the church guy, but you the one brought me up in church. And so there was resentment there. I also remember a time when, like in every family, there was, you know, dysfunction. There was some type of falling out. And I remember my dad left for a while, and that made me upset. And I had resentment there. And so for the longest of time, we did we talked, and we, like we do, we grin, we skin, we embrace, we keep going through family life, but we don't deal with the elephants that are in the room. And so at some point we had to sit and talk about that. And it wasn't until I got older, and you know, I went through school and I started leading and that kind of deal. And then he felt like um I was ashamed of him. Like, I've gotten too big now and I'm this and I'm that. And so it was my resentment against his resentment. And we just kind of went through that as if it was a normal thing. And that was dysfunctional. And so when he told me that, you know, I was like, no, that's not the case. But saying that's not the case, it's not enough. I have to ensure or make sure that he understands that he's loved, he's appreciated, and I don't see him the way he thinks that I see him. And then vice versa. He loves me, and he loves me no different or no less than he loves Jason or whatever. And again, this stuff happened back when I was living at home. Okay. We didn't get to this place of talking until I was out of the house. And so my point today is this: doesn't matter how long it takes, make sure you have conversations that are needed with those that you love so you can move forward. You know, go ahead.
So let's deal with that right now,
Mm,
because I don't see a difference in the kids because you didn't play sports that wasn't. It didn't make a difference because both of you are was my kids,
mm,
and like I say, whatever you did as a preacher and whatever he did as a ball player, I was gonna bag both of you guys because you were my kids,
mm,
and I love both my kids, so that wasn't any different. And the part that when I left home, which she was right, the part I left home, we're staying on the west side of Chicago, and we was married. And back then, when you made vows, when you married, you don't need single friends
mm,
because single friends don't do you no good.
mm,
So I had a phone number. I had a phone number. We wasn't doing nothing. I just had a phone number.
mm,
And I brought it to her attention, and we was talking about it. She said, well, she said, I don't think it's right.
mm,
But we being young, and my head was big. I said, who are you to tell me that I can have a number, am I beholden? Which I was wrong because I'm married now.
mm.
So once you get married, the thing that a single person did, you can't do it
You
no
can't
more.
do them no more.
So now you're married. So that number I should never had. So when I didn't do the right thing, he said, well, since you don't want to do the right thing, leave. So I
Mm,
left. But the part got me, even, even though I left, she made my kids, she made you and Jason help me move.
that's the part I remember. I don't
And
I
that was
don't remember.
wrong. And that was wrong. That
I,
was wrong.
I don't remember.
And that's what got me all them years because I came back a couple of days, but it was the idea we had my kids move me out,
And
you
that
know,
that's
and there
that's the
wasn't
part.
nothing that we hadn't did nothing wrong. It was just a number, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and like
It happens in all families. All families have stories of good and bad and dysfunction, but that's the part that I remember. I was young. I don't remember the details. I didn't know the details, but I do remember taking your bags downstairs
yeah,
and putting them in the car. And I remember that. I remember how that made me feel. I didn't have any explanation. And so, of course, I'm feeling like you done something bogus. And so it set up resentment. And for years, we lived through that as if it wasn't there. And our
But it was
relationship,
there. It was there. But we hadn't did nothing. It was a phone number.
I got you.
It was a phone number because, single married people are not supposed to, eat once you're married, you're married.
Right. And I don't think anybody even holds that now. Well, I know we don't. We're a gracious family and grace is sufficient. But I'm talking about, again, I'm going back years. I was still living at home on the third floor, had to be a teenager, maybe younger than
Yeah.
that. It was a long time ago. But just because time moves doesn't mean things do. And so we're not there anymore. We're talking about it, really for your sake, so you can understand. But we had to get to a point of discussing it because for years we didn't even discuss it. We didn't touch it, but the resentment was there, and we lived through that resentment as if it was normal and it was dysfunctional. And so what we had to do was talk, and a lot of things led to us talking. I remember that even when you bought my first car when I was in high school. Now I'm in high school. This resentment is still there, but we're still living like everything is okay. And he bought my first car, and it was a Ford 77 Ford LTD. It was about as big as my backyard. It was white. I had to sit on I sat on phone books to drive it. And I remember going up Laramie to school, or coming home from school, and I had to have 20 guys in this car with me because they all wanted rides home. And I'm doing 80 up Laramie. And I run into this woman on Chicago Avenue, tore her car in half, and this Ford LTD looked like it had just came out the car wash. Nothing wrong with it. It was like a tank. And so, but it was a big car, it was a gas eater. And I remember, after a while, I worked a little bit. I worked for Venture and Kmart, and I bought me another car. I bought me a Buick Century, I think it was.
No,
You gave me the Century. You sold me the Century.
no, you got that Chevy
The Prism?
yeah.
No, that was after.
Mm.
That was after I got the Century, and I remember he felt some kind of way that I gave away or
Yeah.
sold
Yeah.
the first car he bought me. I didn't even think about that. I just felt like I've driven it for a while. It's big. I want to get something smaller, and I sold the car. And I don't think I realized how precious it was to him to save his money and buy that car.
I was hurt. I was really hurt because it wasn't a brand new car,
Right.
but I put that I can use stuff from my heart,
Right.
and you just told me and just gave it away.
And of course, if you don't talk, that's what happened. So he felt like that, but that's not what happened. I didn't look at it as I'm throwing away a car he bought and gave me from his heart. Um, I looked at it as I've driven this car for a while. It's too big for me. It's costing a lot of money in gas. I only got a part-time job. I'm gonna get me something smaller. And I sold the car. And I didn't know until after the fact that he was really bothered by that. So again, all this stuff is adding up. Okay. So I bought the used car. And then when I bought my first car,
I was really hurt then
right,
too.
I went
Because you didn't come to me.
I went to, and here's the thing, because I felt like my dad had never went and bought a brand new car. I got somebody else to help me to go do it. I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't to hurt him. But I felt like he's never done that. But I was working with a guy at the time, and his dad had took him to get a car. And he says, my dad can take you to get one too. And I says, cool, I'll go with him. And they took me and I bought my first brand new car from the dealership. And when I got home with it, a little time later, I realized how crushed he was about that. So all this has added up now. So I'm still living at home, but I'm an adult now. I'm not married yet. But go back to the taking the stuff to the car. Go back to the feeling like he likes Jason more. Go back to him feeling like you're getting older now and you're embarrassed of me because my education or my job or whatever. Go back to the car he bought that I sold. Go back to the car I bought that I didn't include him in. So all this is built up. And then we have to finally have this talk about it. And it's difficult. These talks, even though you love people, they are difficult. They are challenging. They're confrontational. They're uncomfortable. But if you want healing, you want restoration, you want to get to the place but we can sit now and we're emotional about it. We're emotional all the time anyway. We're just emotional people, but we can talk about it from a place of we've overcome that. Then you got to have those talks. And so for a while, I think I was kind of like, that's my dad, but okay. And I don't know how he felt about me until we talked. But here is the underlying issue or the underlying thing. The love for each other has never went away. It has never been tampered with, although we've hurt each other. Because if you're close, there's going to be hurt. Now, understand this. I wouldn't be so hurt, and he wouldn't be so hurt if there wasn't a foundation of love there. But understand, even when you hurt those that you love, 99.9% of hurt is not intentional. And sometimes we treat people as if they maliciously and intentionally hurt us, and that is not the case. And so we talked. We had that talk. We got to a place of understanding, a place of, yeah, I don't see you like that. Yeah, I receive that you love me regardless of what I've done different from anybody else. And it's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to be because there's nothing like having family, someone as close as your dad, that you're not 100% locked in with. And so I can say today that we're there.
Yeah.
And I think now we're better than ever. Growing closer. I think we understand even more now the importance of family as we get older. I love my family. My family has always proven that regardless of who comes and goes, and people come in your life, they leave your life, they spit on you, pee on you, and give you the finger, but your family is always there. And so I put nobody above them. I take nothing away from them. This is my dad. Um, so we have that understanding now.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but I didn't know back then how my actions hurt him.
Because I thought that
Mhm.
you thought I was just stupid.
Mhm.
You know, I thought you just, and like I say, I've never seen kids that don't ask their father for no kind of information,
Mhm.
nothing, you know what I mean? And I sit there at times and I say, I'm in this world 66 years.
Mhm.
I know something,
Yeah.
I said, but I got kids, don't ask me nothing. If
Mhm.
I know somebody I see it on Facebook or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, or either somebody else tell me. But, I'm sitting there, ask your dad. You know, I'm not going to steer you wrong.
Mhm.
I've been your dad for 66 years.
Yeah,
Just ask me.
I think back then, I know I didn't because of the resentment that was there. And so I think our dealings were very short and very to the point and very family event oriented. But now we're at a better place. Now we're at a place where I can go to, I can ask, I can share, and I feel comfortable in knowing that even if my dad don't know, he'll find out or we'll work it out together. But that's my dad. And so we wanted to sit and share today. And I didn't know how this was going to be. I texted him last night and asked him, was he nervous? He said no, because I didn't know how this is going to, play out. I mean, it's going to be good. But again, our life, um, they didn't ask for it when I got into leading and stuff. All of our lives have just been an open book, like spotlight and things all the time. And here's the deal. I think, I think engagement, I think us talking like this is very important for the times that we live in. People say, well, I thought y'all was going to have church. We are the
Not have a
church.
church.
We are the church. And right now, the community, the church, we're gathering. We can't go to the building, but we're gathering via this platform. And we are talking, we are sharing, we are being transparent, we are being open, we're sharing life. See, doing life together doesn't mean we're going to have pizza Monday, and then we're going to hang out on Friday. It means talks like this. And hopefully, us sharing this has been able to help somebody. London and I, we share a lot. We're going to be sharing even more in the coming months as we continue to lead. But hopefully, this was able to help somebody. Hopefully, our cheers, because they're not just TV show cheers. This is hard stuff. This is things we have been through, and it's nothing like we've been through and we going through, but it's also things we've overcome. And so I think we cry now because they're not tears of sadness or tears of, you still don't talk to me, but they're tears of joy. They're tears of love. Like I love my dad and he loves me, and it doesn't matter if I'm 47 and he's 60 something, or I'm 10 and he's 47. It doesn't matter. This is my dad, and I look forward to, even in our later years now, even making up a lot of things we missed early on, because you were working, because of the resentment, because of the hurt, because you don't just get over hurt. It don't just go away. And so for years we both carried this, and I call it resentment, I call it his hurt, but it's the same thing. It was hurt, resentment, offense, all of it is in the same bowl. We try to dissect it, it's all the same, and it was all in there, and we were living through that and smiling through that, and it got us nowhere but in circles. And so hopefully this time of sharing has been a blessing to you. Again, not just for fathers and sons, but for mothers and daughters, for fathers and daughters, for family in general. I believe the enemy has worked hard over the years to try to get us to hate each other. Not us, but us, the family of God, families in general. And what does that mean? It means to deal with each other with the absence of love. The enemy has worked hard to try and make that happen. He's worked very hard to cause dysfunction, to cause us to split up. Some of you watching, and it is Father's Day, and you refuse to even text your dad or call your dad. Do it. Yes, there is some baggage. Yes, there's some dysfunction there. Yes, there's some things that hit your heart that you're still upset about or hurt about or offended about. But how do we get over it? Somebody got to make that first step. So a text to say, hey, I love you, miss you. Just wanted you to know that can be the start. You may not have an Oprah moment the first start. You may not have a sit down like this and cry and drink tea or whatever. It may be I don't want to talk to you right now. It may be, you know what, I ain't got time for this. I don't know. But we have to start somewhere. We have to break what the enemy has tried to build in families and in relationships. Okay. And so I don't want to keep saying I hope. I know it has. I know that this has been a
Yes.
blessing to people. There's no way it couldn't be. And so on this Father's Day, and may the peace of God, the grace of God, may the love of God, may the restoration and reconciliation of the Father rest in your homes and in your families. And that from this day forward, you be on a journey of goodness and greatness. And this is just an hour talk, a 45-minute talk. There's so much we can go into.
Yeah.
I think my dad is full of wisdom. He's full of knowledge. He's full of things that he can share that he didn't even hit today, from both sides of his family, from his dad's side, mother's side. There's a lot of things that we all have walked through and went through. Um, but it doesn't have to show like my life is this, my life is bad. Whatever. I got a friend in Florida that says whenever you are handed lemons, make lemonade. And it is your responsibility to make lemonade out of whatever you get. And so I know this has been a blessing. If it is, come on, type it in. Show my dad some love. Tell him you love him and thank him for sharing. Because this is usually a platform London and I sit on. He don't usually sit on here with us, but I really wanted him to do that, and just have a talk today. This is, let me help y'all. Let me help you. The way we've known church to be is, I think that's becoming obsolete. Um, and going forward, this next season of life and ministry and this world, it's going to look very much different. Trust me. And so don't be shocked if you don't tune in and we're running in circles, or there's loud music, or they're singing, and we're not going to get rid of that. But don't be shocked if you turn on and we're sitting and talking with somebody, or talking with a family, or whatever. Um, um, because I believe we're coming into more community, more engagement, and more helping people with life. I think this is more weighty than me giving you a sermon today. But you've gotten a sermon, you've gotten a talk, you've gotten transparency, you've gotten realness, you've gotten some answers, you've got some encouragement to go and do something with your family, or have hard talks with your family. So I believe, whether you're separated, divorced, whether there's been chaos in your family, there is still love. and there should still be love for each other and for people in general. And we got to get back to that. We got to get back to dealing with people with love and not the absence of love. I want to talk about that on Wednesday night. Just a plug in here. Wednesday night, we're going to sit and talk, London and I, about how to treat people. We got to get back to treating people right, especially those that you consider family. And we have no business going around the block and around the world. And I think at one point, because of the resentment, I was sharing with everybody and loving on everybody and hugging everybody and passioning everybody. And I walk over my dad and we just kind of had whatever we had. No, that must be fixed, not just in the body of Christ, in the world, in your family. So we trust that you've received something today. There's so much more we can go into, but maybe next time. Thank you for being with us. What time is it? It is 10:58. Before you log off, don't you log off here just yet. Remember to join me. Thank you, Dad, for sitting with me today. I appreciate you. I love you. I honor you. Thanks for crying with me and being honest with me today. Show both of us some love if you've not already done that. This Wednesday night, we'll be back, London and I, to share for the midweek encounter. But listen, don't get weary in this setup. Don't get weary because I'm tired of, going live. I'm tired of Facebook. I'm tired of YouTube. This is what we have, and we're going to make the best out of it. So don't give us a hard time with it. Celebrate it. Encourage us. Give us ways we can stay creative if you want to do that. But this is where we are right now. We'll be here for at least another month in before we go back to the building. And so don't forget about small groups. Don't forget about our Lifeline seniors. Don't forget about Life Kids and their activities. Stay plugged in best you can. Continue to give. You've been wonderful in giving. If you've not been giving, you should, because we want to continue to be a lifeline throughout this time. And we want to have a church to go back to. So keep giving. Don't stop giving. Don't stop your giving. Pastor, somebody said, well, Pastor, I ain't working. Well, if you ain't working, don't have income, then I guess you don't have anything to give. But if you are, and you do what you do. I believe givers don't have to be prompted. They don't have to be given 50 scriptures. They don't have to be reminded every week. If I give, that's what I do. And so we're so grateful for those that have continued to serve, continue to give, even away from the building. Some of you we haven't seen in 3 months or so, but you continue to give, you continue to sow. Thank you so much. Let's do what we do as a community to keep our community moving. We have some other things we have planned coming up for next month, some more drive-throughs and all that good stuff. But just keep doing what you're doing. Married Life, Encounter Nights, Winning Women going live every Friday. I know it's hot. Some of y'all not in the house, so you don't watch as you used to. But if you can, tune in on Friday nights. London does an excellent job with that, her and her team. I love them. They are, and here's the thing. I told her I think they're growing throughout this time. They're becoming more knitted. Their hearts are knitted. I was telling something to the Covenant guys. We've been talking more, just through Zoom and phone calls, even, and so we're getting closer now than we were. We've been seeing each other, even our family. We have more ingrained traditions now, where they have us on lockdown. But on Sunday, I'm coming over to see my mom and them, and we're gonna sit and watch TV and eat and do whatever. Make great use of these times. And so Married Life, we're still coming on doing our what do we call it, London? Our communication labs. This Saturday, we're having a virtual game night. Yeah, virtual game night. And so we're gonna do some fun with our couples. So you should see the flyers about that coming up. You'll hear about that. It's this Saturday night, but there's so much going on. I don't want to waste any more time going through it. Go to Facebook, go to the website, go to the mobile app, and stay connected to your local community. You are the church. I am the church. And right now we are gathering. The community is sitting and talking, and we're better because of it. I love you. If you're watching this and you said, Pastor, I would like to be a part of that community you're talking about. I want to be a part of Lifeline. I want to give my life to Jesus. All of that great stuff. You can text the word LC Next, NEXT to 54244. You want to become a part of our church, our community. You want to, you need prayer. You want to give your life to Jesus. You want to be baptized. We have some real cool ways we're going to be baptizing in the coming weeks. We are planning your return, our return. We're planning how to do things throughout this time. So help us, pray for us. But if you want any degree of ministry, LC Next 54244. People are becoming a part of our community even in the pandemic. They've never been inside of our building, but they've joined our church. They've joined our community, and we so love that. So again, last time, LC Next to 54244. Partners that are on here, type it in there. Put it on the live feed. I love you all. This has been great. I'm hot in this jogging suit, but it's been great. You good, Dad?
I'm good.
And we're gonna, if you have ideas about some creative ways we can continue in serving and going live and things, help us out. I missed the singing today and going down to the church, but I think this was cool. If this was cool, give us a thumbs up. If you like, man, this was cool today, it's different, you're in the backyard, now we can just take this stuff down and fire these grills up and enjoy our Father's Day. Thank you to our media team. Thank you to Sam, who's sitting behind the camera over here, and my son, who's sitting behind the other camera, who have been here and setting up this stuff. Sam was here a day or two ago to make sure we serve you. It's all about serving you. It's not about us going live or you being on TV. It's about us serving you. It's about you getting up, coming to your dining room table or wherever you are, clicking on live and being able to enjoy what you just enjoyed. But know that it takes work to make that happen. And so show Sam some love, show Justin some love, show the media team some love, the people who do the flyers to let you know that we're going live. Show everybody some love because we're all in this together. Thank you. My mom is watching. Brina, Kiva, Trina, Sylvia, Pandora, Mitchell. Thank you. I see you on here every week. Thank you so much. Dorothy Pierce. Love you all. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful Father's Day. To Lavelle Lee, Andrew Lavelle Lee, enjoy your grill. It was an honor to be a blessing to you today. We're going to do some more stuff for our men real soon because we got so many great brothers in our church. Again, Wednesday night we'll be back, 7:30. London and I will be teaching. And then on Friday, London's going live with her women, her girl chat. That is powerful. And on Saturday is Married Life Virtual Game Night. And I think I have covered it all. You want to say something in closing, Dave?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You're good? Thank you for sitting with us. We're going to have a nice little brunch now and enjoy our Father's Day and celebrate each other. And here's the thing. I know I'm talking now. Here's the thing. This pandemic has caused us to appreciate what's most important. You may not be able to go to a fancy restaurant or take a trip you wanted to take, but I get to sit down on the couch with him and just talk. And then he fall asleep, then wake up, and then I may nod off. We watch a little TV. That's important. Those are precious times. Because sometimes we get caught up and we hide behind all these things. And we went to the restaurant and we went here and we went there, and you're really not even spending time with each other. So take great use. Trina Diggs, love you too. Delvin McAllister. Aunt Carol is on here. You see that? Aunt Carol is on here.
Yeah.
Venetia says, thank you to the media team. Ebony Martin. Yes. Shower us with love. Shower them with love because we're all in this together. Thank you, Anita Ware, to all the team that will usually be at the church serving right now or singing for our weekly live there. We'll see you next Sunday. Thanks. Hey, Tanisha, she's on here. Great. Signing off now. It is 11:06. We have done great today. Great time of sharing, crying, and it's only 1 hour. Love you all. Happy Father's Day. See you on Wednesday night.